Hello, BookTube. As long as I had the camera up, I thought I'd make another video in these pre-dawn hours, uh, because the other day I made a short video about taking my little puppy to the Brattle bookshop, our very first excursion together anywhere, to the Brattle bookshop in Boston. And she was really good. She rode in my bag the whole time there and back and was wonderfully well behaved. She ran out of energy. She's still really young. She's just 9 weeks old. So she was, riding on the bag, elbows out, staring at the world the whole way there. But by the time my visit to the Brattle was halfway over, she was exhausted and mostly just sort of dozed in the bag the whole way. Excuse me, the whole way back. Um, and the whole time that I was watching that, I was thinking, well, it's not going to be long before all of this is different. It's not going to be long before she's riding in this bag but not running out of energy. And it's not going to be long after that before she's walking with me and not riding in a bag at all. uh, and it was a lot of fun. The folks at the Brattle were really good. She's incredibly cute, so they were all really happy to see her and to understand, to finally put a face on why they hadn't seen me. Um, and one of the people at the Brattle filmed the video for me, and I posted it, and it's been wonderful to get all sorts of well wishes about this little addition to my family. But I also got a lot of irate emails and messages, direct messages and whatnot, about the fact that I went to the Brattle and didn't do a book haul. You people know me too well, and I did actually browse the outside carts with her in my bag, sound asleep, and I got some books, so I thought I would do that book haul now, since it's the middle of the night. I thought I would do that now, and I'll upload both these sometime tomorrow. Uh, I got 4 books at the Brattle, uh, entirely subsidized by a couple of you who called in gift cards for me, which is very very nice. So I got there and had credit, additional credit, so that I could just pick what I wanted, which was a ton of fun. And the first one is an orange spine penguin trade paperback of Stephen Jay Gould. This is the Flamingo Smile. That I've never seen Stephen Jay Gould in an orange spine penguin classic before, and I got it because it wasn't costing me anything, because I don't have a copy of the Penguin Smile. This is a collection of, like all the other Stephen Jay Gould books, except his enormous tome on evolution. This is a collection of the monthly column that he did without fail for Natural History magazine, uh, and just his reflections on the natural world, on evolutionary questions, on culture at large, on astrology or astronomy and whatnot, and they're wonderful, deeply, deeply uh, textured in a way. I subscribed to Natural History for the whole time that he was writing for them, and I did it only for him. There were plenty of times where I looked at nothing else in an issue, uh, and I don't subscribe to them anymore after however many years he wrote for them. Uh, and I got this, because I knew that if I reinforced it with tape and put a bookmark in it, I could just beat the heck out of it and read it to pieces. But when I was reading, I read a couple of essays on the way back while the little puppy was sleeping in the bag, and while I was doing that, I realized something that I have realized before many times. I really need to come to grips with it in 2018, which is that I am a huge fan of these collections. There's almost a dozen of them, uh, and I want them all. That's the realization, is that I want them all. I don't want to find a 50-cent hardcover of Bully for Brontosaurus or something like that, get it, read it, enjoy it, and then get rid of it and find a totally different edition, a paperback or a mass market of the Panda's Thumb or something like that. Get that, reread it, get rid of it. Instead, what I want is a Stephen Jay Gould shelf. So and the neat thing about the Brattle Bookshop here in Boston is that that's the sort of thing that will show up there as a unit. If I wait long enough, if I'm attentive enough, I won't need to piecemeal it. Someone will just get rid of all of their Stephen Jay Gould, and I can just get them all at once. But this really, really told me, in 2018 I plan on strengthening the ideological reordering of my book collection, uh, along far more pragmatic and less all-inclusive lines, so that I'm The fact that I've reviewed a book is not a reason to keep it. The fact that I liked a book is not a reason to keep it. The fact that I think an edition of a book, a paperback or UK trade paperback or something like that is interesting is not reason to keep it. Instead, the books that I should be keeping are the ones that I actually love, the ones that I actually reread and love. And Stephen Jay Gould's essays count. So what I want to do in 2018, while I'm getting rid of tons of books that don't meet that criteria, is to also keep an eye out for the books that do. So it won't be this. It won't be trade paperbacks. Unless by some miracle I were to find them all in these. That's not going to happen. No, what's going to happen is the hardcovers will show up at the Brattle. I'll just get them all. But in the meantime, if you haven't read a Stephen Jay Gould collection and you're interested in science, in popular science writing, he is great company. I really wish that he were still alive. I miss him. And then the next one is an old thing. It's from 1914, 1918, something like that. It's this thing. It's ragged up at the top. I can fix that. It's called Nathan Hale, 1776, by who's the author here? Not a historian that I know. Henry Phelps Johnston, and it's a biography of the young United States patriot. Nathan Hale, actually the colonial patriot Nathan Hale, who was killed by the British. He was hanged as a spy by the British. And this is one of those indispensable life and letters type volumes that the late 19th century, the Edwardian era, the early 20th century really excelled at. This is the type of book where if you got it into your head in 2017 to write a biography of Nathan Hale, you would have to have this book. You would have to find it and consult it. Not just because it's a biography, but because it contains a huge amount of correspondence and a huge amount of the tracing down of details that have been glossed over with time. So you would have to go back to this thing. And I also I tend to like these early volumes, just the writing style, the assurance of it. So I will gobble this up. I don't have a Nathan Hale biography. There aren't that many of them, and this is exactly the sort of thing that I love about the Brattle, is that they get stuff like this, and they don't even think about charging $45 for it and putting it in a Mylar bag. Instead, it's out on the bargain carts, and you can just indulge yourself. And the next one is something I've had before. It's a big fat volume that I've had before. Actually, these next two, there are only 4 books in this little haul, and both of these last 2 are big fat volumes I've had before and just got rid of. So I was happy to find them again. The first one is Derwent May's book, Critical Times, which is a big history of the TLS, the London Times Literary Supplement, which is the best English language literary review in the world, and my favorite reading in my own field of literature. And this is Derwent May's narrative history of them from the beginning, and it's fantastic. I had a volume forever and ever. I had a copy of this forever and ever. No idea what became of it. I saw this at the Brattle and immediately knew you don't have that, so I grabbed it. The same thing with this next one, which is really good in a crowded field. It's really good in presidential biographies. This is Eisenhower by Jeffrey Parrott. There's the young cadet, and there's the general. No portrait of the president, but you get the point. There have been many Eisenhower biographies, and there were many after this. Gene Edward Smith did one that's really, really good. But I really like the narrative energy of this one. And I had it as a trade paperback a long time ago, like 20 years ago. I don't even know when this came out. It's tremendously good. I had this came out in 1999, so I probably did have it about 20 years ago. But I have been looking lately at my presidential biography library, the part of my collection that's presidential biographies, and I was thinking when I saw this and I realized I had credit, so it wasn't going to cost me anything. I realized this is probably the Eisenhower biography that I would want, so I grabbed it. So there's those 4. That's the missing Brattle book haul that I didn't think to do because I was concentrating on the little puppy. Those are the 4 books: 2 biographies and a history, and then Stephen Jay Gould, the great Stephen Jay Gould. those are what I got that day, just for those of you who are wondering what you missed. So I'll go back to other bookish stuff soon, but I think for the next few videos, I will wait until the sun comes up so we can get rid of this creepy lighting. But I'll see you soon in any case. Thank you, BookTube.